Well, I'm here with my man JT, John Thomas.
Oh, you already started?
No, don't worry. You can do you. I'm just getting the preface, setting it up. So, JT in town today, well, this week actually, and he hit me up and said, hey man, I'm gonna be in town. I know it's last minute. I'd like to see you and say what's up. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. We get together. Well, I meet with him. Our conversation was so juicy, okay? So full of so much love and power. I said, man, I wish we was recording this. And guess what happened? The light clicked on. I said, okay, we're gonna make it happen. So we're at Rocket Town, right here visiting a friend, and I said, man, I know they got cameras or something in here. So I went upstairs and said, hey, y'all got a camera here with some mics. I'm gonna see if we can. I want to interview my friend here. We're gonna talk about some things because we were talking about speaking. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about most of all though about relationships. And I've been seeing this guy make so many moves online, do so many good things online. I was like, man, but it's interesting about, how this situation is and how you're doing what you're doing, and this is how this relationship plays out. So I'm like, you know what, man, stop. I'll be right back. So I went up to the officers up here and said, get a camera. They have a camera, but they did have a mic. So they got a shotgun mic here, and I'm using my cell phone. I told you about being resourceful and using what you have. So I'm going to sit here with my man JT, Mr. Safe Auto himself. He'll never be able to let that down. I've known JT for years. We used to do high school ministry stuff together when he was doing the high school deal. You went into full-time ministry. So JT, tell them real quick about you. This is Mostmoto. This is going to be for our family of Mostmoto, Mindset Successful Thinking, the fam, the brand, and I've been waiting to get you on camera to talk to you, and man, look how God works.
Look at God.
Look at God.
Ain't he good? Won't he do it?
Go ahead, man. Tell us a little bit about JT.
Hey, man. Well, first of all.
Well, Pastor John.
Well, yeah, look, hey, titles don't matter.
Yeah.
As long as you can operate in it, man. Yeah, no, man, it's an honor. It's an honor to be here. Not only are you resourceful, look, you taught me. You had the idea. Next thing I know, we're in a private room.
Look, we got it going.
It's set up. I'm like, this dude just made it happen.
Stands, everything, man. Where can we start?
Where can we start?
But just about you first. Where we're gonna start at?
Yeah. It's been an honor, man, to walk out relationship. I think we're in a time in the culture where people are struggling to find common ground, and more than anything, we need to see how do we live and exist with cultural differences, political differences, religious differences in a world where we have access to voice our opinions, but yet we're becoming more divided. And so I purposed in my life, and even by the example of my own family, that we're gonna walk it out in front of the culture.
Yeah, don't give it to him yet. We're gonna this is what we're talking about. So if y'all don't know JT is a man that's secure who he is. He's gonna talk about that. So he's doing a lot of in regards to the black movement. Is that how you would say? How was the best about reconciliation in regards to bringing races together and things like that?
Absolutely.
Walking together, without, like you said, spiritual, physical, whatever. You walking together. So I'm seeing him on the internet do the walking together with Ferguson. Is that right? Tell me about that.
Yeah. In Ferguson, me and my family, we live in Ferguson, Missouri.
Yeah. I was on the phone with this guy. I saw on the phone with him. He's at a soccer game, and he said, "Hold on, is that gunshots?" That's how real this brother lives. He in the middle of it all at a soccer game hearing gunshots.
Yeah, they were popping off at about 5:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Daughter, little kids on the soccer field. That's the world we live in.
Yeah.
And so we live in Ferguson. We moved there during the crisis 4 years ago after Mike Brown got shot there, and we wanted to be agents of peace. Peacemakers, and that's what the Bible says. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. And so, in a world full of chaos and crisis, people are looking for shalom.
Yeah.
They're looking for peace, not just like a surface level peace where we can coexist, but I really hate you on the inside. But it's a wholeness. It's a resolution, man.
Yeah.
It's a reconciliation. It's a resolve, man. So that's what we're trying to do.
And he's gonna get to this because this is how juicy it was getting. So I'm like, but man, JT, you being a guy to stand up for change, right? And I see a lot of individuals, of men or women, whoever, that's trying to really walk this thing out of being, hey, we about equality, racial reconciliation. But then they're in interracial relationships. Tell us, we have to know how that you're walking in a type of authority. That's a whole different mindset, dog. That's a whole different thought process that you're walking into the gauntlet of it. Talking about being strong.
Yeah.
Do what you do, and then you come in. Tell us about when you tell them downstairs. Tell them about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think first
when
of all,
they take their glasses off, like, what?
Right. Yeah, man. I think the challenge of being a black man in America, right? We have unique experiences that honestly the whole world is familiar with. You know, it's not just hey, we have a struggle and we're in our corner and nobody knows about it, but you know, the journey of the African American people has been really, in some senses, glamorized even through Hollywood, through the music industry. Yeah. Everybody knows about the struggle. You know what I'm trying to say? And so there are expectations that come with that, right? You know, and so being a black man and having walked through that, I understand what we deal with. I've been pulled over. I've been profiled. The whole deal.
The whole
you know, I've experienced it, so I can articulate those things. But I'm married to a white woman.
Oh! Hey! Did you hear what he just said? Like, oh, snap!
Yeah.
So that's what I've been wanting to hear someone really speak about that.
Yeah. So
I mean, cause when you talk about being the strong advocate of it, then you're like, hold on a second. Dude, your girl or your husband is... Tell me. Then you say you have to be secure.
Yeah, you have to be secure, because what I understand is that you know, when I was born into this world, I was born to a black woman. So I love black women. You know, so the cultural lie is, oh, you're a sellout. You know, why you going? If you love people, why are you going to do that?
If you love our people, why are you going to do that?
Why are you going to do that?
But see, you gave an idea about by you've been married to,
but
you know, a Caucasian, and individuals like from a different nationality. It's like, okay, but I can speak.
Well, see, the thing is, if we're going to be bridge builders and peacemakers, we have to be able to speak the language and be able to remove ourselves from our cultural context enough and to not be in our feelings, you know, to get out of our feelings enough to be able to hear the other, whoever the other is, you know, to meet them where they are, to get on their side of the table. And so because I'm married to a white woman and she was born and raised in the South, her family's from the South, I understand certain mentalities and certain ways of thinking, and I can speak the language, but not only speak the language, I can understand the thought processes. And having lived with her and navigated her cultural context and hearing how she's processing things, my wife's not a racist. She's married to a black man. But there are certain things that she's inherited and ways of thinking that have been challenged. You know. And
it has to.
And
you can't say when that comes up in an argument or discussion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
on both ends.
Yeah, and there's certain things that she's had to struggle to understand about a news event that impacts me one way and it doesn't impact her that way.
That's what I noticed.
Yeah, and so she's trying to figure out, okay, why is this affecting you so deeply? You know, how do I understand? Because no matter how hard I try, I don't feel it the way you feel it. And so it's forced us, man, to move past offense and being offended.
And she's not like, you know how they got let's just call it the white black girl.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
The white girl who grew up
black, so it's like almost like, well, she black, so it's not really, she don't count. No, she's a true Southern belle,
bro. She white as white.
I know it, but dude, you put a post on Facebook one time about your father-in-law. I think you had a memory. Your father-in-law said, "Hey, this is my son." Tell us about that when you said at the wedding. Yeah, because you black. You're not light skinned. You know what I'm saying? You're not like, he can pass. I'm talking about you're black guy.
See, in that part of the country at that time, this is just 10 years ago, 14 years ago. But in Western North Carolina, where we were, there was no church in my wife's hometown that we knew of that would allow an interracial.
This is recent. This ain't the 60s and 50s.
Yeah. So
14 years
they had to knock on doors and make phone calls to find a church. Hey, do you have a venue where we can get married?
Dude.
But then they also said, no, it's an interracial marriage, and there were doors that were closed. So we landed at the first church that said yes to us, and they had to actually hold a church-wide meeting and hold a vote with the members.
And this is in the 2000s.
This is 2005. They had to hold a vote to make sure that everybody was okay with the fact that a black man and a white woman were getting married.
So this wasn't the fact that you deal with the challenge of that. Then you got the challenge of black on black.
Yeah, right. Yeah, black on black.
Because I'm gonna tell you, it crosses my mind. I can't say it does not. When I say, man, it's funny. I got a guy mentor who's engaged to a Korean young lady. She's mixed with Korean and white. But the fact is, but he's so die-hard.
Right.
The struggle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and I'm like, how do you do that? And that's my boy JT making it happen.
Right.
How do you do that? That's got to be a secure thing in yourself to do that.
Well, here's the thing. It's really Christ who did it.
Yeah.
Christ. The way I understand the gospel, a lot of times we talk about it's just salvation from our sins.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. It's being born again. It's being born. I was born to a black woman and a black man and black culture and all the things that come with that. And I love it and I celebrate.
Oh,
it's who we are.
Dude, you get calls all over the country come and speak on that.
But here's the other thing though. Before Christ, my blackness was who I was. So if you speak about my blackness in an offensive way, then you're offending everything about me and everything that that I am and who I represent. But in Christ, it says we're a new creation.
Preach out.
So here's the thing: old things pass away and all things become new. And I'm a part of a family that is multicultural. My family is. I can get down with Latino music and Latino food, and I can embrace Turkish culture, and I can embrace Russian culture and these things as my family members. You know what I'm saying? Because now my blackness and my black culture is not my primary identity; it's my secondary identity. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Christ first, so all of a sudden I can now identify and speak on behalf of the plight of my African American brothers and sisters, and yet I speak above the pain of it. Like I feel the pain of it, but it's not the totality of who I am, and I'm not as offended anymore. I can sit across the table from a white supremacist, and they can call me all kinds of things, but I know who God says I am.
And then they see you married to a white girl, probably be super hot.
Oh yeah, they'd be hot. And the black folks, initially some of my black activist friends are like, how can you
tell me? You gotta break it
man?
down how that when you go into the meeting, you like, yeah, brother,
right.
And then they say, and then you go do a get together.
Man, But the thing is, the substance of truth that I walk in and that I can bring is from God. And that truth is more powerful than any objections. Truth is more powerful than people's walls, than people's offenses, than people's stereotypes, no matter what it is. And God has given me, I've learned how to live the solution in my own house. And so when you live a solution and then you try to walk it out in a public place, people can object and scream, you a sellout. But then when they see the love that I walk in, they see the way that, that we, even my wife and my family, we give ourselves, to see not just black folk, but all people become better, and to transform our world and transform the space that we've been given to steward. That's undeniable. A lot of people, we live in a world that we got social media, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody's got an opinion, but the substance behind the opinion is where, you prove it out over the course of several years. It's the fruit that the tree bears. And you can't argue with fruit. You can be mad at it, but you can't argue.
You didn't want the gray apple, you want the red apple.
And the same people who are mad on the front end, well, you a sellout, you married to a white girl. Well, okay, that's fine. You can be mad, but watch me do what I do. Watch my life. Watch
and typically, that's what end up happening.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Everybody watching.
They watching. They had a lot to say. They watch, then they see the fruit They see the fruit of what unity brings. Mm-hmm. They see the fruit of God.
And you're truly living after you walking in it. I mean, you're truthfully walking in it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is.
I mean, you're literally unified and walking as one.
Right, yeah, and that's the thing. We need to have conversations culturally. Like, we need to sit down and have some really tough conversations. But my fear is that in the midst of so many opinions and conversations, we're not walking together. Mm-hmm. And it's actually the walking things out, the modeling of transformation. I can talk about unity. Let me show you how to be unified. Mm-hmm. Let me show you how to love somebody. Straight up. Let me show you how to love your enemy. Mm. I mean, everybody wants to confront the enemy, but do you love him even in the confrontation? Like, when in your confrontation, do you walk away from the confronting of your enemy feeling more love for them? Wow. Do you sit around, the person who's offended you the most, do you sit around and think about all the ways you're gonna confront them when you see them again, or do you think of all the ways you could bless them? Bro, that's where the rubber meets the road, especially for anybody who identifies as a Christian, because that's why so many people had an issue with Jesus, is because he responded in a superhuman way. He responded opposite from the way we're naturally wired. But that's where we are right now as a culture, man. We gotta get to the place where we're not so easily offended, and where we actually desire to walk humbly and to do justice. We got to do it. You know, if you're a businessman, if you're a lawyer, if you're a preacher, whatever it is, in your sphere of influence, do justice. Do it justly, you know. But it also says in Micah 6:8, walk humbly and love mercy. And that humility is being teachable, being willing to sit at the table with maybe your enemy or somebody that offended you or you perceive as your enemy. If you're the oppressor, being humble enough to recognize the error of your ways in that conversation. And then love and mercy. And that's where the offended people, we don't like to be merciful, but mercy means you're guilty, but I'm not gonna hold your guilt against you. Like, I'm actually gonna forgive you. I'm gonna be merciful and kind to you. I can sit down with people, family members on my wife's side or friends or whatever, who don't understand some of the pain in the black community, different things.
Because they end up saying, just get over it. It's been so long.
Just get over it, yeah. But I can sit with them and I don't get offended if I'm sitting this close to somebody like, man, you know what? I don't believe a word you just said. You just need to get over it. I can get personally angry and offended at that moment, or I can say, you know what? I'm gonna love mercy. I could really lay out the statistics right now and make you look like.
And you probably got plenty of statistics to lay out.
Oh yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna be merciful towards you because I realize there's an ignorance. You don't know what you're even saying. You don't know how deeply what you just said just hurt. To love mercy. That's
and you're literally living it out though, dog.
Yeah.
Hey, JT, I just want to thank you for even allowing me to record this conversation that we've had. I mean, that's the only thing, not unfortunate, I think it's a fortunate thing, and it just depends. It's a gift and whatever. So, I have so many great conversations with people. It's one of those things you want to be able to go back to. Right. And no one can tell the story over again like you can when you're telling it. Right. So it's like, why not just record it? Right. And then share it with someone that's going to help them and impact their life as well, because there's so many, I've had so many people I've spoken to that said, Troy, we should do, especially during February, a reconciliation. Yeah. Well, black guy and a white guy, you interview me. Sure. Or black couple, whoever, white couple. But this is the best conversation about reconciliation in action ever. Wow. You follow? I mean, because you actually truly walking out what you're trying to actually preach and talk about.
Yeah. Well, you know, we have a long way to go, man.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm learning. I think the humility of it all is that if we look at human history, no generation has gotten it right. Nobody. Mm-hmm. And that's the humility we have to use to approach the conversation of racial reconciliation. Is mom and them didn't get it right, grandmama and them didn't get it right. Mm-hmm. On either side, black or white, like no generation has gotten it right. We've made some advances, you know, some major progress. The 60s, the civil rights movement, the historic black civil rights movement. There were some victories legislatively, educationally, financially, but those were all just those were all small steps that did change the way that we live together, but it didn't heal the heart of a nation. You know, so.
But can and the last one, can you truly expect it to happen though?
Well,
I mean, truthfully, because this is a man deal.
Right, right. As long as sin is in the world, there's going to be racism.
Yeah.
You know.
That's just the honest truth.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I think...
Now, how you react to it is different.
How you react.
Yeah.
And I think generationally and in some of the systems of the world, you know, there are major steps that can be realized and can be taken. But as long as sin exists, until Jesus comes back, racism is going to exist, and He says He's going to settle the disputes of the nations, of the people groups. God Himself is, and so that was the hope that our slave foremothers and fathers had. It wasn't just like some kind of fairy tale hope; it was real.
Oh yeah,
and we have to, as a generation, lay hold of that, but also say, okay, we know Jesus is going to set everything right, like He's going to make wrong things right. But in the meantime, how do I bring the righteousness and the justice that his kingdom is founded on? How do I bring that into my daily life, into my relationships, into my community, into my spheres of influence? How do I create a more just world that reflects on earth the way it is in heaven today? And that's where every single one of us have to take that journey if we want to be impactful in this culture today.
Well, there it is. I want JT to tell us the last part about how they can find you, search for you, be ambassadors of what you're doing. Not follow you, just be followers. I'm talking about ambassadors for what you're doing. Right.
Well, we've started an organization called Civil Righteousness, and that's based off of the fact that I don't think we need another civil rights movement. There are civil rights movements of many sorts in the earth today. But what we do need is a righteousness movement. And righteousness deals with the internals, your psychological, the emotional, and the spiritual. And it's internal transformation that leads to external reformation. So if we get changed on the inside, we can change the world on the outside. So civilrighteousness.org. We just launched an app. You can get it on iTunes, on Amazon, on Apple.
So is it like a podcast?
Well, it's an app that you can download to your phone off of Google Play. We've got podcasts on there. We've got articles.
So it's like a station.
Yeah. I mean, you can, the same way you would download like a game on your phone, our app is going to connect you with resources, some of our conference dates, some of our teachings, different leaders around the country who are carrying similar messages. And we're going to continue to populate that and build that up. But civilrighteousness.org and also the app Civil Righteousness.
Well, there it is. Facebook stuff, anything?
Yeah. We're on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram.
But I want you to tell them your name.
My name.
Tremaine.
Jonathan Tremaine Thomas. Jonathan Tremaine Thomas. I also have a personal website, jonathantremaine.com.
There it is.
So, yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to have them text me all that, and I just put it on the screen and do that. But I appreciate you, JT, for allowing me to speak to you about this. I've been looking forward to it, and just look how it all works out. And I believe in everything you're doing, man, and believe in you. We worked together a long time, so love you, man. Appreciate you,
bro.
And I appreciate y'all taking the time to check out this quick impromptu video. Thank you for spending time with us. Remember, the true outcome of having a mindset of successful thinking is having an unwavering expectation of success with achieving a predetermined goal, knowing that the outcome was supposed to happen. Remember, change someone's life today, but most of all, change yourself. Appreciate you. That was good, man.